We're going to go ahead and replace our air intake tube located between our air filter box and our throttle body. Using a 10mm socket and extension, we're going to go ahead and loosen this hose clamp right here. You can also use a Phillips head screwdriver if your clamp allows that. And we're going to move to the other end of it. Let's do the same here. Once that's loose, you're going to follow this sensor harness right here, and it just clips onto the back side of the rubber itself. And then down on the front side, we have the same. Just grab the harness and pluck that out like that. This sensor right here, if you want to, you can go ahead and disconnect it, press down, and just wiggle that sensor off. Just kind of set that aside. Our particular vehicle is missing the air intake tube from here that runs over the battery and attaches up to the radiator support. So if you have this here, it's going to be easy for you to go ahead and pop this off to go ahead and access the hardware here. Now we're using an 8mm socket to remove the screws holding the air filter lid onto the air box. I'm going to grab our connector here, pinch this and wiggle that off. Pop your air filter lid off. Just going to give you better access to go ahead and remove this. You can see while we're replacing the air intake tube here, this clearly split and is rendering the vehicle to have a check engine light. I'm going to use a pair of pliers to pinch this here, open that up. I want to go ahead and work this air intake tube off of the engine as well as this back vacuum tube here. Once you get the air intake tube off of the throttle body, we can go ahead and pull it off of the vacuum tube in the back. That's why I'm holding this. There we go. And go ahead and twist that off of that. This is pretty stuck on there, so I'm simply going to use a blade and I'm just going to cut the rubber. Grab some pliers here and I'm going to grab the neck here and just going to twist this off. Here's that stubborn piece right here. Here's that stubborn piece of rubber. I decided to cut it, make it a little bit easier to come off. You want to go ahead and work this onto our throttle body as well as get that vacuum port put into here. Now sometimes spraying a little bit of spray lube on the components will help things go together. To work this onto the throttle body. Once we have that into place, we'll go ahead and feed our vacuum tube on. Go ahead and work our vacuum tube into the intake tube. Now that that vacuum hose is in there, we'll go ahead and secure that clamp. Reach in, we'll just kind of get that air intake tube where it needs to be. Right on the top, there's a little rubber nub here that will hit a little stopper. So once that's positioned properly, go ahead and spin our hose clamp here. Install our upper intake lid here. Go ahead and pop that into place. Let's go ahead and get our air box positioned in. Now we can go ahead and install the 4 screws holding that air box lid in place here. Once we get all 4 of these screws started, I'm going to go ahead and snug those down. And do the same for the other 3. Go ahead and line up the air intake tube. And grab your sensor here. Pop that into the air intake tube. There's a little grommet on the back here. Pop that in, get your connector snapped in. Let's go ahead and secure the air intake tube here. Let's go ahead and tighten this one down. Let's go ahead and secure this hose clamp here. Snug that down. Once that's snug, go ahead and bring your connector up, snap that in, and then just press this into the intake grommet here. Now, if you did remove your upper intake here to the upper of your upper radiator support, go ahead and install that now. If you didn't remove it, then you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.